Hello and welcome to your Advanced Leadership webinar for Team DSI. My name is Jared Krebs. I'm pictured here with my wife, Crystal. We are co-founders of Team DSI, Emerald Directors. Today is Wednesday, June 28th. And before we get started with our advanced training, I just want to remind you that amateurs sell products, professionals sell the vision. And that is selling everything USANA has to offer, the lifestyle, the freedom, and the health. And so I want to encourage you to be focused on selling the vision of USANA. I know that you are on this call because you are one of our elite leaders, one of the best on our team. And that's why we do this call. We do this call because we want to give you the best training possible. And we want to sow more into you. And you are planning your work, you're working your plan. You are the best of the best. And so today you're going to hear from one of the very best USANA associates in the company, Mr. Tom Dirks. I originally met Tom when I moved to San Antonio in 2008, and he was literally on his deathbed. I remember going to his house, and he was basically like, he had no hair. He had been dealing with multiple myeloma and cancer, and he was already a gold director at that time. And I watched him from 2008 make a full recovery. And it was just such a cool, awesome thing to see, because we really didn't know if Tom was going to make it. And today he's healthy, he's happy, he's thriving, his business is doing great. And, USANA not only changed his life, it saved his life. And so y'all are in for a great, great story. And Tom, thank you for spending some time with us today on our call. Thank you for sewing into us. I know that we're not directly in your downline, but you're still taking the time to sew into us and help us be our best, and we really appreciate it. And Tom, are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. Yeah. So Tom, we would like you to just start from the beginning. What was your life like before USANA? How did you get started? What were some of the biggest challenges you had to overcome, and what's your life like today from USANA? And then we'll finish with questions here at the end of the half hour.
Okay, sounds good. Well, like Jared is saying, I am a walking miracle, and the quality of life I have today is something doctors never, ever, ever thought I would have again. So I will share my story, but I want you to know I am so thankful for USANA, because it changed my life in so many ways. It was huge for me, not only financially, but for my health it was huge, but then also gave me a great group of people to associate with that was very positive. And just being involved with a company like USANA too just helps you with your own inner stuff too. So when I got involved with USANA, it was very providential, because I had no idea what was in front of me. So what happened is I've been involved with Christian ministry for 20 years, but I was in the middle of a chaotic marriage, and so I resigned from Christian ministry and I went back into general contracting. And I've always loved being a part of something where you're making a difference in people's lives, and so USANA is really a great vehicle for doing that too. But so I was in the middle of kind of a chaotic situation as far as relationally. I was going through a divorce. I have 4 kids. It's never a good time to have a divorce, by the way, too, regardless of what age your kids are. But so I was at a very emotional low point, and I was just trying to, again, figure out how I was going to create income. And so I was doing general contracting again. And then I had a friend of mine that he's a pretty interesting guy. He's also a doctor, and he's also a duathlon world champion. And he invited me over there for Thanksgiving, and he said, "Tom, have you ever heard of USANA?" I said, "I've never heard of it, but this guy Larry, when he says something, you kind of listen, because he's the least likely guy who would ever sell you anything, but he just has lots of credibility, lots of respect." So he gave me some information about USANA, and I was at a great point to look at something. So I started looking at it, and actually I was your ideal prospect, because he did not follow me up, I followed him up. So I called Larry up, and I was very intrigued by what he gave me. He gave me a newspaper, and then he also gave me a CD to listen to. And so I called him up and said, "Hey, Larry, I want to know more about this USANA stuff." And he got with me with another associate, Mario Ray. Some of you may know these guys. This guy's named Larry Salusta. And we sat down over a table at Denny's, and I listened to what they had to say, a presentation, and I said, I want to do it. And I said, how do I join? So I whipped out my credit card. They didn't even ask me for it. I just gave them my credit card, and I jumped in with a business builder pack. So I want you to know that I was you're a very unusual person to prospect, because I was ready to do something. I was excited about the USANA company, the products, and so forth. And I really enjoy being a part of something too, where you feel like you can make a difference in people's lives. But little did I realize when I got involved with USANA that I had some major things going on health-wise. But I started working in USANA, and I just this is in 2004, January 2004, when I really started working USANA, and I started seeing people jump in there with me, and saw some teammates jump in there, and people came up to me and said, Tom, congratulations, you're a platinum pace setter. And I thought, I don't even know what that is. What is that? So, I started seeing some results with USANA. I started seeing some income come in. By August of that year, I was getting checks consistently every single week. And I thought, man, this is fantastic. This little part-time thing I'm doing is creating some income. And it kept growing. And then I'm trying to remember my dates here. So my business kept growing and then I was involved in going to the conventions, because they were fantastic, and just keeping the vision in front of you and keeping you motivated. And then the following year in August, I was actually making enough money to actually support my needs. And so I thought, this is fantastic. I mean, I'm creating enough income through this little part-time thing that I'm doing to actually meet my needs. Well, in September, I've always been very active in playing sports and so forth. I used to play basketball 2 or 3 times a week. I'd get up early in the morning. While I was on a Friday morning, I was playing basketball, and I broke my back. And come to find out that I had an acute compound fracture in my lower back, which is a very severe. Basically, what happened is that the cancer was eating away my vertebrae, and it just totally crushed my vertebrae. Well, I didn't know what was going on, but I went to, this is kind of a crazy story, but I actually went to a chiropractor that same day, and went to one on Saturday. And then I went back to that same chiropractor on Monday. I was in total misery all weekend. And finally, that chiropractor says, you need to go get an MRI done. And I went to get an MRI done, and the radiologist says, you don't need to see a chiropractor, you need to see an orthopedic surgeon. And they're not even supposed to say anything, but so I went to see an orthopedic surgeon, and that's when I found out I had this compound fracture, but they did not know what was causing it. Well, that year, USANA had their international convention late, and I was supposed to fly out on Wednesday to the international convention. Well, on Tuesday, they gave me this girdle to support my back. When you have a broken back, you're like a noodle. You just don't have any support. So as soon as they gave me this girdle to support my back, I was good to go, and I jumped on the plane Wednesday morning to fly out to USANA. And I thought, I don't want to sit home thinking about what's going on with my health. I just thought, I just assume with a group of people out there that are positive, that are excited about being a part of something that's making a difference. So I went to the USANA convention with this big question mark over my head. What is going on with my life? And actually, I had a great convention, even though I had all these uncertainties going on. So when people make excuses about not going to USANA convention, I just don't buy it. So don't make excuses, and make sure people go there, because it's well worth the time and the investment. It's always a highlight every year for me. So when I got back, that's when I found out that I had the big C, and that's called cancer. And I had a blood cancer called multiple myeloma, which basically eats away the skeletal system. When I got diagnosed with this that fall, the average life expectancy was 2 to 5 years. Well, I'm not your typical person. I had gone to an oncologist, and he wanted to do all kinds of radiation on me and all kinds of chemotherapy on me. And he also told me, he says, Tom, you'll never do impact sports again. And I thought, man, I don't like you. And I never went back to him again. And I did some other things to try to buy me some time. I went to actually Sanoviv. Sanoviv does not really deal with this type of cancer, I went to Sanofi, and I think they did some things to kind of bought me some time. And so I just continued to work my business even with the prognosis of cancer and the uncertainty of it. You know, and you tell people, how do you work a business like USANA, health and wellness business, when you're fighting a life-changing disease like cancer? And I just tell people, you just do it. And I continue to build my business even in the midst of having cancer. Well, what happened, and then interesting enough, in 2008, I actually became a gold director. Well, 2 months after I became a gold director in June, I developed a secondary problem called amyloidosis. And if you think cancer is bad, amyloidosis is much worse. And that's when amyloidosis is, when you get diagnosed with that, you usually have a life expectancy of 1 to 2 years. So, and I'm a Christian, I'm not afraid to die. I just want quality of life. So what happened is when I got my amyloidosis, I went to an oncologist, or not an oncologist, but a GI doctor, and they did a colonoscopy on me, and they said it was the worst colon they had ever seen. It was black, necrotic. He says, you need to go to the hospital and have emergency surgery and have your colon taken out. And so I went to the hospital, and I thought, you know what? I don't want to live with a bag the rest of my life. And I thought, if I don't pull through this, it's okay for me to make my exit. I had people all over this country praying for me. And amyloidosis takes actually years to flush out your system. And I actually have pictures of this, so you can actually see the visuals of it if you want to see a colon. But after a week, they went back there and did another colonoscopy on me, and my colon was pink and alive again. The doctors could not believe it. They thought they had the wrong pictures of the wrong colon. Now, I like to say that USANA did that, but I just believe that was a miracle. God touched my colon and healed it, and I have a perfectly functioning colon today. I won't go into details, but I want to tell you that my colon operates fantastic. So I'm very, very thankful. I mean, I just tell people, when you deal with medical challenges, listen to your heart. Just don't listen to whatever people tell you, because if I had listened to some of my doctors, I would not be here today. In fact, with my broken back, I had an orthopedic surgeon that wanted to take out my L4 vertebrae, put a titanium cage, fuse my back together. And usually the recovery time for this type of surgery is about 6 months. And people are usually on pain meds the rest of their life. Well, I walked around with a broken back for 15 months because I did not like what this doctor was saying. And there's a friend involved in USANA that worked in the operating room with back surgeons. And she kept telling me, Tom, you need to get a second opinion. And finally, it got so bad I had to get a second opinion. And this doctor worked in the same group of doctors as my orthopedic surgeon, but he just said, let's just do kyphoplasty, which is they make a small incision, they put like epoxy cement in the hole where my break was in my back. And one day, I was as good as new, I had support, and I've never had problems with my back since that day. So I have some great stories about the medical community, but then also have some things that some people wanted to do to me that I just am so thankful I never listened to them, because it would have made a huge negative impact on my life. So so in 2000, I got diagnosed with amyloidosis. In July, as actually on my deathbed, I was planning my funeral. I had some great results with a chemo, kind of a new chemo drug that they've been using for multiple myeloma. And I had a good response to that. And as soon as I was able to, I was back on the USANA products, because I knew that was extremely important to, especially as you do very toxic treatments like chemotherapy, to help rebuild and restore your body. And again, in July, I was on my deathbed, but I did everything I could possibly do to regain my strength and my health. And in August, I was at the International Convention. So again, I tell people, go to the International Convention, even if you're on your deathbed. So I went to the International Convention, and then in September of that year, I had a stem cell transplant. I happened to be blessed with an identical twin brother, where they're able to harvest his stem cells, which he was a perfect match, where there's no host graft issue. And so I did a stem cell transplant in November. And again, just to remind you that even with amyloidosis that I had, if it was in my heart with my stem cell transplants, it would have killed me instantly if it was in my heart. So that's just a chance that we were willing to take. And so I had a great result with my stem cell transplant. I went through it really, really well. People were amazed how well I handled it. Most people get, really, really sick from it. And since that was in November, since January of the following year, I have not been on any medication whatsoever, except I do take a thyroid medication, but that's not anything related to my cancer. But ever since then, now most people, when they're on multiple, if they do have multiple myeloma and they do have a treatment process, they're usually on a maintenance program the rest of their life. Well, I have actually been drug-free ever since January. And here's the amazing thing is I had cancer so bad in my back, I lit up like a Christmas tree. I had so many lesions throughout my back. And here's the beautiful thing is if you give your body what it needs, your body's able to repair, rebuild, and heal itself. And so I've seen total restoration in my back where I can do all kinds of impact sports. I have no limitations except the fact that I'm getting older. But I feel, even today, I just feel fantastic. I just went to the doctor recently, and I'll take my blood work against a 20-year-old. And so that's what, so that was in January of that year. I forgot to tell you the year that I got so sick, and I couldn't even work about 6 months that year when I got my amyloidosis, is that I couldn't do my USANA business for almost 6 months. Well, that year, my income went up over $12,000. And what I like to tell people is it's the power of the team versus an individual. And that's what I had as a team of people. When I got knocked out of the game, I had other people willing to participate and play the game with me. And then, so you can tell that financially, USANA was huge for me because it gave me a source of income when I could not work or have income from other sources. And so it really kept me from medical bankruptcy because I had about $100,000 in medical bills that I was responsible for. And I want you to know today I'm totally debt-free from all those medical bills. I paid them. I negotiated a lot of them too, but they're all paid off, and so I have no medical debt whatsoever. And I just want to tell you, I just love being a part of a team because it was a team of people that helped me really walk through that time. And as I share my story too, I realize that everyone has challenges as they do this business. And the most important thing to realize is with your challenges, as you are willing to deal with your challenges and keep moving through them, that's where you develop a powerful story. And my challenges happen to be financial. They happen to be, I had a lot of relational challenges because I was going through my divorce and so forth. I had a lot of health challenges. And so, but I want to tell people, just realize that it's in the midst of those opportunities that you develop a powerful story that you can use to help encourage other people and give them hope, because most people have challenges and they need to have hope that they can get through them. And to this day, I cannot believe the quality of life that I have because USANA has, it has restored my health in ways that most doctors said that I would never have again. In fact, I had 2 other friends that had the same cancer. We did the same protocols as far as treatments, as far as the medical community. I went to both their funerals. They were not willing to do they were not willing to do things to help support the body and help rebuild the body. I also have another friend that I'm close to that has the same cancer, and she's having all kinds of complications and problems. And I am just so thankful that I'm not experiencing any of that, and my quality of life is unbelievable. And I've been cancer-free now for almost since 2007. It's almost been 9 years, or 9 years now. So that's a pretty incredible story with my cancer, because most people deal with it the rest of their life until they make their exit. So that's a quick summary of my story. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask me some questions. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so thankful that I get to enjoy life and experience life and do some of the ventures that I want to do.
Tom, thank you so much. This is a great, great story. And I love hearing it. I hadn't heard your story in probably 2 or 3 years, and it's cool that it just keeps getting better. You could never even tell just seeing you today that you went through all those health challenges because you're so healthy and you look so great. You look just like you do in this picture, and it's just like wild to hear it. So I know there's people on the line that have questions, and I want to start. Oh, let's see. We already have a chat here. Let's see who said. Oh, Lillian Galliano says, awesome. Praise God. Amazing story. Carlos Gomez, wow, awesome story. Daniel Espinoza, thank you. It was great and wonderful story. I guess they're not questions, but definitely they're excited. And so please.
I do have to say that my story is not USANA compliant.
Right, yeah,
So you gotta be very careful. But so I want you to know that. But I want you to know USANA was huge in rebuilding my life. My health, because I mean I know people that have not done what I've done, and they don't have very good quality of life. And I do want to encourage anyone on this team is this value your health and realize that USANA is an important player in helping you have quality of life and having just good health. It's a key player. So
absolutely. So I guess my question is more about the finances. What does USANA do today for your finances? How does that look?
Well, actually, I mean, USANA continues to pay me. I mean, just consistently, week after week. And what has happened is I've always wanted to build my own houses, and so right now I'm in the process of I built a spec house last year, and in the process I'm trying to build 2 spec houses this year. So to be very honest with you, I'm a little bit distracted from my USANA business, but USANA's allowed me to kind of do some things that I've always wanted to do.
Oh,
So
you're able to do real estate and diversify.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing some other things. I mean, I'm at an age now that I always wanted to do this, and I thought I got to do it now or never. So but I'm doing that. But I still, I mean, I love USANA, and I know that I'm going to really get back focused on it again. But right now, I've kind of taken a little bit of a vacation from it. But I still work it when I talk to people. But I have not pursued it as hard as I did when I was actually sick. So.
Right. So you built your foundation and you have a nice base residual income, and then you can also do other things too.
Oh yeah. That's what's happened.
That's awesome. All right. Who has a question for Mr. Tom Dirks?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How's it going, Tom? Thank you.
Renee Martinez, Top Silver Director. Welcome to the call.
Yes.
Thank you, Jared. Tom, I just wanted to thank you so much for your amazing story, and definitely glad that you're here with us today telling your story. I had the pleasure of meeting you last year at convention, and my question is, whenever your first year of business, your very first convention that you went to, how much of a game changer for your business was it for you to go to conventions? Because I know we have a couple of associates on here that haven't been to conventions.
Well, there's no doubt that what happens when you go to convention, it really builds your belief in this company that you're associated with, and then the products that you represent. I mean, you cannot capture a convention except at convention. I mean, you can talk about convention, you can listen to the audios, but you have to experience convention. And I think that's the thing is that, I mean, I love going to it every year. It's fun, it's educational, it's motivational. It's just, I mean, people need to realize that it's well worth the time and the money and the investment to go, because you'll walk away and think, yes, I want to come back next year. So I want you to know that it's very, very strategic in helping people build just a solid belief in this company that they're associated with.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And my second question is, have you missed the convention. I know you said that. I was very, very impressed when you said that you put that back brace on and you were on the plane the next day flying over there. Super impressed. That's like, wow. Have you ever missed one?
I've never missed one. I've never missed one. Yeah,
Very,
even
very
that
impressive.
summer of 2008, when I was really, I was really on my deathbed that summer, but I still went to convention. I didn't look very good. I mean, Jared may remember me then, but I didn't look very good. But I was there.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for answering my questions, and I look forward to seeing you in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and people don't, here, I look forward to seeing you, Renee, too. And people don't realize that, when you're going through tough times, you need to be around positive inputs. And USANA is a great thing to be a part of because it just gives you lots of positive inputs. So, yeah, you don't want to be around negative things because if you got negative thinking, that impacts the body too. So,
yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see if we have any other questions from our elite associates here. Many of them, Tom, are actually eating lunch. Like they have, 30-minute break or they have a short break.
yeah.
So we might not get another question. But I want to acknowledge everybody who was on here to that. I want to acknowledge you for being on, because it's not easy sometimes to get on at noon. You still got on and you learned a great, great story. And Tom lives in San Antonio. So that's really cool. And y'all could also always ask Tom on Facebook if you have a prospect that would do a three-way call. Tom has helped me on three-way calls over the years because he's just such a great guy. And, he's definitely a resource for you. And Tom cares about everyone in San Antonio, and he always has. He's always been a huge team player. And looks like we're going to be starting up our Thursday meetings again pretty soon, Tom. I'm sure. Have you heard from Brian yet about it?
Yeah, I have heard a little bit. Yeah. So.
Okay, cool. We'll obviously keep you in the loop on all that too. And I'm not sure when exactly, but we're definitely focused on that. So.
Good.
Yeah. So I think I'm just going to ask one more question, Tom, just to end our call. And that question is, if you had to start all over in USANA, like knowing what you know today, what would you do different, or what would you do right now, just if you had to start over from zero with your USANA business, knowing what you know today?
Well, that's, as I look at my USANA story, it's just been such an incredible story. I don't know how I could even rewrite it. Yeah, but I think probably the biggest thing that I would tell people is most people don't realize the gift that we have in USANA. And the biggest challenge that we have is to know the gift that we have and then be able to present it in such a way where people are willing to look at it and unwrap this gift.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like, for myself, to this day, I still don't realize what a tremendous gift USANA is, and just to value it and to realize that it is so much, it's just worth being persistent and consistent at trying to help people. And some people are just, they're not ready for it, but just love people and enjoy the journey, enjoy the process of your USANA journey. I mean, I've enjoyed it thoroughly as I've gone through such life-changing things.
I like what you said there about, when you realize that it's such a gift, it will come through in your words on your prospecting calls or approaching someone, because you have a gift that's so special that could literally change someone's entire future. And that perspective is what I hear you say, is that's the perspective that you would take, and then you would just enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and sometimes, too, when we get involved in USANA, we want to get to this destination where I become a gold or a ruby or a diamond or something like that. And I just want people to enjoy every step of the USANA journey, to realize that live each day, realizing each day is a tremendous gift, and enjoy it, embrace it, and live it fully.
Awesome. Well, Tom, thank you so much. This has been a great, great interview. We really, really appreciate it. And we're going to end the call by having everybody say, have an awesome day and God bless. So I'm going to unmute the lines. Let's see here. Everybody say, have an awesome day and God bless.
Have an awesome
Have
day
an
and God
awesome
bless
day. God
everybody.
bless.
Have an awesome day and God
everybody.
bless.
Take care.
Have an awesome day and God bless. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Children's here.